Imagine opening your electric bill and seeing it's jumped from $150 to a whopping $450. That's the gut punch I got. Ethan Bailey, a 35-year-old electrical engineer living in the quiet Pinewood Estates neighborhood in Seattle. I'm just a regular guy, working remotely, enjoying my peaceful bachelor life after a no-drama divorce. But then I caught my new neighbor, Deborah Harrington, sneaking into my backyard at 2 a.m. to plug her shiny $90,000 Tesla Model X into my outdoor outlet, racking up $300 a month on my bill. Stick around, because this story of how I used my engineering know-how to turn her car into an expensive lesson in consequences is juicier than a reality TV showdown. Pinewood Estates is your typical suburban slice of heaven: neat lawns, summer barbecues, and neighbors who mostly mind their own business. I moved here 3 years ago, fresh off 6 years in the Army Corps of Engineers, where I geeked out on power grids and security systems before going civilian. Now, I design power management systems from my home office. Life was chill until Deborah rolled in like a hurricane. She showed up with her Tesla, designer yoga pants that never saw a gym, and enough jewelry to set off a metal detector. When I dropped off a welcome basket, some local craft beer and chocolates, good Midwestern manners, she gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes and called my house quaint, like it was a gas station bathroom. Her place? A suburban mansion with Italian marble countertops and doors that cost more than my car. She bragged about her very successful lawyer husband, William, 3 times in a 15-minute tour. When I mentioned I'm an engineer, her interest flatlined. Big mistake, Deborah. Looking back, I should have seen the red flags. The previous owners practically fled, selling their house way below market value for a job opportunity. Now I know they were escaping Deborah's chaos. In just 6 weeks, she sweet-talked, bullied, and wined and dined her way to HOA vice president, even ousting a retired principal named Dorothy by digging up dirt on her son's old DUI. Deborah was like a suburban dictator in Kashmir. The trouble started when that $450 electric bill hit. I thought it was a mistake, so I called the power company. They said the reading was legit and suggested a faulty appliance. I went full detective mode, checking every outlet and appliance with a usage monitor. Nothing. My neighbors, the Andersons, a retired couple, said their bill was fine, so whatever was draining my power was just my problem. Then, at 2 a.m., my security camera pinged. There was Deborah, in silk pajamas, sneaking across my yard with a 50-foot extension cord, plugging her Tesla into my outdoor outlet. She'd even hidden the cord in shrubs she'd pushed the HOA to plant for neighborhood aesthetics. I was stunned. She was stealing my electricity like it was free coffee refills. The next morning, I knocked on her door, video evidence ready. Deborah, in a pristine tennis outfit, laughed it off. "I don't know what you're talking about, Ethan," she said, even as I showed her crystal-clear footage of her face. She blamed my poorly designed electrical system and, with a fake sweet smile, mentioned my hedges were 2 inches too tall, hinting she'd make trouble as HOA vice president. I tried locking my outlet with a cover, but 48 hours later, I got an HOA violation notice from Gregory, their clipboard-toting inspector who reeked of Deborah's fancy scotch. My lockbox was unauthorized. I showed him the video, but he called it a private dispute and made me remove it. At the next HOA meeting, I tried to call her out, but Deborah shut me down with some point-of-order nonsense, and the president, Frank, backed her up. Then she pitched her master plan: community EV charging stations, paid for by everyone's HOA dues. She'd make the whole neighborhood cover her Tesla's juice. I wasn't about to let Deborah turn Pinewood into her personal charging station. I dove into HOA rules, local laws, and electrical codes. My Army training taught me to know the battlefield. I teamed up with Martha Wilson, a 68-year-old widow who knew everyone's secrets, and Brian and Sarah Thompson, a couple struggling with HOA fees that were eating into their kids' baseball fund. We collected signatures from 23 households against the charging stations unless they had individual meters. Martha gave me a stack of HOA records showing Deborah's shady moves, like pushing out board members who opposed her. But when the next HOA meeting got postponed for technical issues, read, Deborah scheming, I knew playing by their rules was a dead end. Time to get creative. I designed a smart power protection system, SPS. A legit, industrial-grade setup that detects unauthorized usage, gives clear warnings, and cuts power if ignored. I built it in my garage, tested it to meet national electrical code standards, and had a city inspector friend verify it. No jury-rigged nonsense here, this was pro-level. I installed it on my backyard outlet, complete with a weatherproof box, battery backup, and a glowing sign. Protected by SPS. Unauthorized use may damage devices. It would flash lights, beep, and, if ignored, create a safe voltage flicker before shutting off. Deborah was about to learn what happens when you mess with an engineer. The night before the rescheduled HOA meeting, my camera caught Deborah at 1 a.m., plugging her Tesla into the new community outlet she'd fast-tracked. The SPS kicked in. Flashing yellow light, loud beeping. Instead of stopping, Deborah smirked and cranked the charge rate higher, like she was flipping me off. Bad move. After 3 warning cycles, the SPS cut power after a controlled flicker. Her Tesla's screen lit up with an error, and her smug look turned to panic. By morning, she was pounding on my door, screaming I'd bricked her car. The damage? A $22,000 bill to fix her battery management system, not covered by warranty because she ignored the warnings. I calmly showed her the SPS specs and offered to share the video of her defiance. Her husband, William, rolled up in his Mercedes, all lawyer vibes, but when he read my documentation, he wasn't happy. "You ignored blinking lights?" he asked her. Then I hit him with the kicker. Misusing HOA funds for personal gain could be fraud. He dragged her home, muttering about the $22,000 that the special HOA meeting was standing room only. I walked in with my laptop, backed by Martha's stack of damning HOA records and Brian and Sarah's support. I laid it all out. Videos of Deborah stealing power, data showing her 75 kilowatt-hour nightly drain costing us $500 a month, and proof her emergency charging stations were a scam. Deborah tried to spin it, claiming I was harassing her, but the crowd wasn't having it. Brian spoke up about pulling his son from baseball because of the fees. Others joined in, retirees, young families, all hit by Deborah's scheme. Martha moved to make her pay back $7,000, kick her off the board, and hold new elections. The vote was a blowout. Only Deborah and her 2 buddies said no. Deborah and William sold their house at a loss and bolted to another state, probably hoping for better outlets. Moving day was quiet, except for Martha knitting across the street, toasting them with her teacup. Brian took over as HOA president, pushing transparency and fairness. We installed proper EV charging stations with meters, I helped design them, and 3 neighbors got electric cars, knowing they'd pay their share. Martha started a community garden, turning a dull lot into a neighborly hub. The new folks next door, a doctor and a programmer, are awesome, even asking permission for their slightly oversized fountain, which the HOA greenlit fast. Every time I pass the spot where Deborah parked her Tesla, I grin. She could have had her charging station if she'd played fair. Instead, her ego cost her $22,000 in repairs, $7,000 in restitution, and a rushed home sale. Martha said it best over coffee. Karma doesn't need Wi-Fi to find you. Pinewood's tighter now. Neighbors chat, look out for each other, and trust the new board. My engineering skills might not make me Mr. Popular, but they sure taught a Karen the real cost of power. Thanks for reading. Let me know where you're at, and I won't snitch if you're reading this instead of working.